There are 3 nights. They don't appear on any calendar. They make no sound. They don't announce their coming. But when they arrive, something inside you knows that nothing will ever be the same. They're not dreams. They're not coincidences. They're not products of your imagination. They're moments when the soul stops whispering and decides for you. Most people go through these nights without noticing. They wake up the next day, follow their routine, ignore the signs, and then they wonder months or years later, how did I let my life get to this point? But you're not most people. You sense something is changing, you feel one of these nights approaching, or perhaps you're living through one right now and you found this video because you need to understand what's happening. This is the map of these 3 nights. It's not mystical, it's not religious, it's simply true. The first night arrives as a discomfort you cannot name. You're lying down, body exhausted, mind restless. There's no logical reason to be awake, but you are. You stare at the ceiling, you check the clock. 2:37 a.m., 3:15 a.m., 4:02 a.m. Thoughts circle like water trapped in a drain. Always the same themes, always the same questions. Why am I still here? Why doesn't this satisfy me anymore? What's missing? You try to sleep, but sleep won't come. And when it does, it's shallow, interrupted, uneasy. This isn't ordinary anxiety, it's different, deeper, more ancient. It's as if something inside you is pushing against a door you've kept locked. The signs of this night are clear for those who know how to recognize them. First, sleep that won't come, even though you're exhausted. Your body is tired, but your soul is agitated. Second, a sense of emptiness that has no name. It's not sadness. It's not loneliness. It's absence of purpose, absence of direction. Third, persistent thoughts about the same thing. That job, that relationship, that city, that version of yourself that no longer fits. Fourth, irritation without apparent cause. Small things bother you disproportionately. Because it's not the small things bothering you, it's your entire life. When this night comes, most people do one of 2 things. Either they ignore it completely, turn on the TV, grab their phone, distract themselves until sleep finally wins. Or they panic. Am I depressed? Do I need therapy? Medication? What's wrong with me? But nothing is wrong. The soul is simply doing its job. It's showing you that the path you're walking has become too small. You've grown. It hasn't. That job that gave you security now suffocates you. That relationship that was comfortable now feels like a prison. That routine that used to work now is an empty cycle. The soul isn't punishing you. It's warning you. It's saying, change now while it's still a choice. Because if you don't change, life will change you, and it won't be gentle. As Orin once said, the soul speaks first through discomfort, never through disaster. It warns you before it shakes you. The first night is the warning. And if you ignore it, the second one comes. The second night is more intense, much more. It's the night when you see yourself without filters, without masks, without excuses. Old memories resurface without warning. That conversation you said you'd forgotten, that choice you claimed not to regret, that pattern you swore you'd overcome, but keeps repeating. It's as if the soul opened a file you'd archived as resolved, but it never was. On this night, you see with brutal clarity why you keep attracting the same situations, why you avoid the same conversations, why you accept less than you deserve, why you sabotage what you desire. The second night doesn't bring questions. It brings answers. Answers you always knew but refused to admit. You realize, for instance, that relationship didn't end from lack of love. It ended because you never allowed yourself to be completely seen. You always kept a part hidden, protected, untouchable. You realize that project didn't fail from lack of talent. It failed because, deep down, you were afraid of success, afraid of what would happen if you truly shined. You realize that person didn't betray you out of nowhere. You already knew. You always knew. But you chose to ignore the signs because the truth was too inconvenient. This night hurts, not physically, but it hurts because you realize you've been lying to yourself, not out of malice, out of protection, out of fear of facing what needs to be changed. And the worst part? You realize how much time you've lost, how much time you spent avoiding looking at yourself, how much time you spent blaming circumstances, other people, the universe, how much time you spent waiting for things to change on their own. But they don't change on their own. They never did. They never will. The second night is cruel because it's honest. It doesn't give you the consolation of illusion. It gives you the clarity of truth. And the truth is this: you have been complicit in your own stagnation. You have chosen comfort over growth. You have said yes when you should have said no. You have stayed when you should have left. The soul is showing you this not to destroy you, but to free you. Because as long as you don't see the pattern, you're enslaved by it. As long as you don't recognize the problem, you can't solve it. As long as you don't admit the truth, you live in the lie. As Orin teaches, what you avoid looking at commands you. What you face returns your own power. The second night returns your power. But first, it breaks you. And only after breaking can you rebuild. Only after seeing who you've been can you choose who you'll become. The second night isn't the end. It's the necessary deconstruction before transformation. And if you don't run from it, if you allow it to show you what needs to be seen, then comes the third night, the most important of all. This one is different. It's quiet, almost unsettling in its calmness. You no longer have answers, but you don't need them either. You don't know what to do, but something inside you already knows. It's as if an invisible door has closed, and another one, which you can't yet see, has opened. The signs of this night are subtle, but unmistakable. A strange peace, even without having resolved anything. You still don't know what the next step is, but you're no longer desperate to know. A sensation that something clicked, but you don't know exactly what. It's as if internal pieces have fallen into place without you noticing. Less rush, less desperation, less need to control everything. A deep desire to stop merely surviving and start living. On this night, you don't make conscious decisions, but profound decisions are being made. The soul is reorganizing priorities, rewriting values, redefining what matters, and you'll only notice this in the coming days when you start acting differently without effort. You'll wake up one morning and simply not respond to that message you always responded to. You'll be in the middle of a conversation and realize you no longer care about that person's opinion. You'll look at that job, that relationship, that habit, and feel nothing. Not anger, not sadness, just detachment. And you'll wonder, how did this happen? Yesterday I was still trapped. Today I'm free. What changed? What changed was the third night. The soul decided, not in words, not in plans, but in essence. It already knows what's coming. It's already moved the internal pieces. You'll only notice when you start acting differently, naturally, effortlessly. You'll cut a connection that's been dragging on for years. You'll start that project you've always postponed. You'll say no for the first time in a long time. You'll say yes without fear. And you'll be surprised by how easy it is. You expected it to be difficult. You expected drama, guilt, regret. But there's none of that. Just clarity, simplicity, inevitability. Because when the soul decides, there's no more internal struggle. When the soul decides, the mind finally rests. When the soul decides, the body obeys. It's like swimming with the current instead of against it. As Orin reminds us, the soul decides first. The mind understands later. And the world simply witnesses. The third night isn't dramatic. It's silent. But it's where everything changes. In the days following the 3 nights, something shifts. Small at first, but undeniable. You wake up and notice that weight you were carrying has lessened. It hasn't disappeared completely, but it's lighter. And then the visible changes begin. You finally send that breakup message you've been rehearsing for months. You open the document for that postponed project and start writing. You stop responding to certain people. You just stop. No explanation, no guilt. You start taking care of yourself again, not as an obligation, but because you finally feel worthy of it. There are no thunderclaps, no divine revelations, no cinematic moment where everything suddenly makes sense. Just movement, natural, inevitable, right. The people around you will notice. You've changed, they'll say, and you'll smile because you don't quite know how to explain. How do you explain that you went through 3 nights that no one else saw? How do you explain that your soul made decisions your mind is still processing? How do you explain that you're the same person, but completely different? You don't explain, you simply live, and that's the beauty of integration. You don't need to announce your changes. You don't need to justify your choices. You don't need to convince anyone. You simply change, and the world adjusts. What matters now is not forcing anything, not over-planning, not rationalizing every step. It's simply listening to the simple signals and following them. If you feel like being silent, be silent. If you feel like leaving, leave. If you feel like starting over, start over. The soul has already done the hard part. Now, you just need to trust. These 3 nights are not rare. They return. At every phase of life, at every transition, at every moment when you're about to become who you need to be. They'll return when you move to a new city. They'll return when you end a relationship. They'll return when you lose someone. They'll return when you achieve something great. Because the soul never stops evolving. And with every evolution, there's a death and a rebirth. With every rebirth, there are 3 nights. When the first night comes, and it will come, don't run from it. Don't distract yourself with Netflix, with work, with alcohol, with social media, with anything that makes you not feel. Sit with it. Breathe with it. Listen to what it's trying to tell you. When the second night comes, don't fear the truth it will reveal. Yes, it will hurt. Yes, it will be uncomfortable. Yes, you'll question everything, but it's necessary. You cannot build an authentic life on foundations of lies. When the third night comes, simply surrender. Trust that the soul knows what it's doing. Trust that you're being guided, even without seeing the complete path. Trust that the next step will reveal itself at the right time, because it will. It always does. Every transformation begins in silence, and the soul always speaks first in the night. So when the night comes, don't fear it. Listen until the next journey.